Good morning, everyone. Namaste. We're going to call in Archangel Michael to clear, cleanse the space of all negative and lower vibrations from our mind, body, and soul, home and hearts, placing the white light of protection on us with this blue seal. I'm being divinely guided to start reading on Mary Magdalene. It is the meaning of Mary Magdalene, discovering the woman at the heart of Christianity by Cynthia Bourgault. I believe I said that right, but I'm not sure. And to read a little on the back, it just says, was Jesus' most important disciple a woman? A thoughtful and provocative analysis of evidence by one of today's most respected contemplative teachers. Again, that's Mary Magdalene. And we're going to start on the preface. I'm going to bypass some of the information. And we're going to start here. It says, that is not where I am going with this book. I intend to stay within a historical time frame within the bounds of the literature and scholarship generally acknowledged as germane to this conversation. Although I will unsettle some by giving the Gospel of Thomas, Mary Magdalene, and Philip equal footing with the traditional New Testament text, the best contemporary scholarship bear me out of this point. I believe, and my first goal in this project is one already widely recognized, and my first goal within the progressive Christian circles is to repair the damage caused by heavily handed patriarchal and at times flat out misogynist ecclesial traditions and reclaim Mary Magdalene's legitimate role as a teacher and an apostle. My angel of approach is not a feminist, however, but the perspective of a wisdom of a Christianity. With this emphasis on the perennial spiritual practices of transformation and inner awakening, the argument I will be making is that Mary Magdalene earns her place among the apostles because of all Jesus' students. She is the one that best catches the full unitive meaning of his teachings and is best able to walk the talk. And I agree with that. The insight that she really expresses and she gained in the Gospel of Mary is very, very profound. It is very, very high level and is definitely a person who is on the ascension path herself. The second part of my book will bring us to the eye of the needle. And here is I have found myself frequently repeating Abba Joe's mantra, go gently, go gently. But can even the lightest of footsteps onto this forbidden turf be gentle enough to keep a door open? And to some degree you can't. And Jesus couldn't. Jesus had to kick down some doors in order to get his point across. And I think that's okay, because I believe the world is ready for that shift and transformation of truth and knowledge, which is what Jesus came here to do. You can't be an avid person of Jesus and not have the full truth. For I do indeed intend to open the emotionally charged question of a possible love relationship between Jesus and Mary Magdalene. And my conclusion is that such relationship most likely did, and in fact, the heart of Christian transformation path. One might even say it's a long missing key. But the kind of relationship I have in mind is not sentimentalized melodrama our culture commonly holds up as love, but a spiritual love so refined and luminous as to be virtually unknown in the West today. And I am entering the shark-infested waters precisely for the sake of this love, because its healing and its generative energy is desperately needed to heal the deep psychic wounds in Christianity. In a third part of my book, I will be looking at how healing has unfolded and continued to unfold in the Christian West. Through the largely unacknowledged infusion of Mary Magdalene's presence, The language I will be using of Mary Magdalene as an archetype of divine wisdom or the divine feminine may sound trendy, but again, I'm not coming from the usual reference points. I derive my observation not from the contemporary Jungian categories, and they're talking about Carl Jung, if you don't know, but from the traditional wisdom teachings on the human soul as a bridge between the visible and invisible realms. These teachings are amply laid in the Gospel of Thomas, Mary Magdalene, and Philip, and thus compare the immediate frame of references in which Jesus and Mary Magdalene would have been working, not as a contemporary psychological retrojection. The inner cosmic fluidity attested in these texts, I will argue the real legacy of the love between Jesus and Mary Magdalene and the basis on which they were able to meet her and through her and him. As with all lovers who have lived to the full of wager that love is stronger than death, the faithfulness of their two hearts resonating across time and space forms a particular kind of energy channel which divine compassion pours itself forth as wisdom and creativity. This is the real post that Mary Magdalene has always held, unacknowledged but irrepressible, and why her presence of the contemporary scene is this critical juncture in the life of Christianity is so important, in fact, so predictable. When a new infusion of love is needed, Mary Magdalene shows up. Our only real choice is whether to cooperate or not. And do your own research on this, but most people believe that do that type of research based on the findings of what Mary Magdalene put in the gospel and Thomas and all of them, stating that he loved her the most out of everybody. And a lot of people believe that Mary Magdalene and him had a baby after he got crucified. And he resurrected. They believe that she fled to France, where there is a town that still celebrates Mary Magdalene. And they had a daughter, and her name was Sarah. And she is still celebrated in that town. I can't pronounce it. But do your own research. But I hope this helps. And I love you all. And we'll get into it further. Have a blessed day and namaste.